Tantei Jinguji Saburo Yokohamakou Renzoku Satsujin Jiken is the second game in the Tantei Jinguji Saburo series. The first one was released on the disk system, and the third one will be released on the disk system. However, just 2 years after its release, the disk system's already on its way out, which is why this game and the fourth game in the series were released as Famicom cartridges. Tantei Jinguji Saburo became a bit of a yearly series for Data East. There was one game a year for the 8-bit systems, then it skips until the PlayStation era, at which point it gets one game a year for over 10 years. And unlike virtually all of the mystery games we're going to see, these have had official English releases. Collections of the mobile phone remakes of these games were released on the Nintendo DS as the Jake Hunter games. The version you want there is Jake Hunter Detective Story Memories of the Past, since it contains all of the games that were in Detective Chronicles, along with a few more. Jinguji Saburo is a hard-boiled detective in the Sam Spade mold. With his trusty assistant Yoko, they crack the cases that the police can't. In Yokohamakou Renzoku Satsujin Jiken, Jinguji is approached by the police to help find a missing woman. Her fiancé reported her missing, and the police investigation has stalled because she worked at the consulate for the nation of Baraka. Many of the people involved had diplomatic immunity, and it was politically sensitive, so they had to turn to Jinguji for help. It's always tough for me to judge these things, given that I have such a limited time and have to follow a guide, but I really was not impressed with this one. It felt like the vast majority of the investigation consisted of going to a hotel bar, then going to a bar nearby, then returning to the hotel bar, then going back to the other bar, and you repeat this many, many times. I'm gonna say over half the game takes place in those two locations. And for something called the serial murder case, there's very little murder in the game. You're told about it happening, but you're not investigating crime scenes or searching bodies. It's a lot of telling instead of showing, and it makes the game feel tiny. The interface is the now standard set of mystery game actions. Go to a place, talk to someone, pick something up, show them some evidence. There is a new option on the second menu page. You can smoke a cigarette and think about the situation. The menu interface here made me appreciate the work that HAL did in their Satsui no Kaiso. In this game, the interface completely resets every time you do a command. So if you're having a conversation with someone and want to talk through all the options, for every single one you have to go down to Talk To, then select the person, then select the topic from the list. It's kind of annoying that they have you do this instead of just staying in that menu and letting you select the next topic. In Japan, Yokohamakou Renzoku Satsujin Jiken is pretty well regarded. I found people saying that they liked the graphics and how Yokohama was presented in the game. The biggest complaints I found were that the game had a lot of typos, and that the password is just crazy. I mean, what kind of password has omega symbols in it? As for myself, it's not really a fair assessment, and it never is with these mystery games, but I'm not feeling this one. It's too restricted, it doesn't feel like I'm really involved in the mystery, and the interface is a real step backward considering the improvements we've been seeing from people lately. I've heard that the next Tantei Jinguji Saburo game is better, so I'm hoping I'll see a real improvement in that one.